What do you need to start selling globally on Amazon? How do you get an Amazon account? Lots of questions in this video. It's going to be short, to the point. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to get your Amazon account set up globally. So let's get right into it. Now, before I get into the meat of this video, just so you know, I'm not going to cover like every single country in the world on Amazon. I'm going to give you some very simple step-by-step instructions that you can follow to get your account set up on Amazon. Now, before we get right into that, again, it's like an onion today. I don't want you to go ahead and just start an Amazon account today without having any product or any idea. I much prefer you went for research before you did that. That said, though, you do need to know this, so that's why we are covering this as well. And just a very, very important disclaimer, like if you live in a country that is not, say, the UK, US, etc., you know, I can't cover every single tax law or something like that. So it's going to be very simple, but it's what you need to know. Anyway, that's it. The first thing you're going to need to look at when you're starting any kind of Amazon seller account, and you should only have one in your main country that you're selling in, it's going to be having a business entity. What's a business entity? It's a company. We typically recommend an LLC if you're in the US. If you're in the UK or something like that, a limited company. And as I mentioned at the top of this video, I'm going to kind of imagine you're living in a country and you're going to sell in the US, just for now, on Amazon.com, just to keep this really, really simple. So that's the first thing you're going to require, some vehicle that you can actually sell on Amazon. Now, again, if you're living in the US, an LLC or something like that's perfect for you. If you're living in Europe and you're going to sell on Amazon.co.uk, a limited company is absolutely fine as well. But as a whole, if you could just imagine, the main thing you're looking for is to have a limited liability company in place. And the reason that's important, very briefly, is because when you have a limited liability company, it protects you. It protects your personal assets as well when you start into a business. Now, the reason that you got to have your eggs in a row, but it's ducks in a row, and that's absolutely fine. They're eggs before they become ducks anyway. And the reason that it's really important is because, you know, if you're going onto Amazon without a company, without any of this stuff lining up, you're going to get your account suspended. It's as simple as that. You may not even get to complete your Amazon account setup, but you could just literally be suspended straight away with Amazon's bots. And the reason for that is because they don't want to have a fly-by-night person coming in and setting up a business. They want to have a real business that's set up and it has its own, let's go on to the next thing, bank account. That's very, very important. The bank account's got to be in the name of the company. Should have the same address as well. Why is that important? Well, again, like imagine you're Amazon, you're a multi-billion, even trillion-dollar business now, and somebody comes on and they don't have a business, they're a really weird operator. You don't want to work with them. So when you've got your bank account in place, you've got your limited liability company in place, you're really, really at a very good starting point, okay? They're the first things to look at. Now, in terms of banks you can go to, high street banks are fantastic. You know, go there first, absolutely. If that doesn't work out for you, there's lots of different online alternatives like Fire, Revolut, and everything in between. Payoneer is another way of accepting money, but you will need a bank account regardless of who you go for. You always want your domestic bank account in place. They're the first two pieces. The next thing we're going to talk about then is having a credit card in place, an internationally chargeable credit card in place. And why that's important is obviously because Amazon, they'll charge you different fees. They'll charge you a fee for your seller account and stuff like that. When set up, you got to have a credit card in place so that you can pay for those things. I do like to have this in the name of the company as well. If at all possible, that makes the most sense because it all lines up then. Sometimes whenever you're starting your Amazon account, you're going to need like a bank statement. You're going to need something like that to prove that your company is a real company with a real address. And that's why it's important to set things up correctly, like we've already talked about, so that it all does line up and it all is in place so that when you put all this information into Amazon, there's no issue whatsoever. So an internationally chargeable credit card is something that I would highly recommend you put in place for this purpose, all right? On from that then, you're going to need a phone number, a valid phone number. Lots of different ways to do that. I mean, you can Google online how to do this, but a phone number that is valid makes a lot of sense. You can just give like a cell phone number if you want, but it's not always ideal because people might call you from time to time. It's very rare though that you would get a phone call, like super rare, because people typically will just send you a message if they have a question about a product, an actual item, or they'll contact Amazon about an order. And because you're using FBA, Amazon will take care of all that inbound customer support on your behalf. So there's nothing for you to worry about in that respect. Again, we got a company, we got a bank account, internationally chargeable credit card, and we have a valid phone number. That's really important so far. Are you on Instagram? If you're on Instagram, what I'd love you to do is give me a follow. All you gotta do right now is maybe take out your phone if you're on your computer. If you're watching this on your phone, maybe just check this out later. Go to Instagram, sign in, and then go up and type in Stephen J. Summers. You should see this on screen right now. Stephen J. Summers, that's my handle. I want you to give me a follow, and then what I want you to do is send me a message on Instagram, DM me, let me know how you're getting on, if you've got any questions, and I'd love to respond to you. So jump over there right now, give me a follow, and I'll chat to you in there. On from that, then there's different documentation that you'll require that's pretty standard, a document to prove your business is a real business, that you actually set it up. As I mentioned, you'll need things like bank statements and stuff like that to get your Amazon account set up. You might be thinking, but Stephen, I don't have any money flowing in and out of my account just yet. How do I do that? And typically you can contact your bank and they'll give you an opening statement with your address and stuff like that on it, and you can utilize that as well. So they're all the main things. Once you have all those bases covered, you're really in a good spot to go to Amazon and to apply for your account. As I mentioned at the top of the video though, I only recommend doing this when you're really close to knowing the product that you're going to actually sell. And the reason for that is you don't want to have an Amazon account for months on end. You're paying for it every single month and it's not doing anything for you. Some people have got their seller fees refunded, but it doesn't always happen. Amazon sometimes say no, so I can't guarantee that. The last thing to talk about then is like taxes and stuff like that. Like, how do taxes work? And typically, like when you're a company, the two main taxes you'll be thinking about here are sales taxes and corporation taxes. All right. Now, every country is a little bit different, but at a very basic level, they're the two things you'll be looking at. The thing to understand about taxes, right, are that sales taxes are things that are charged, it's tax charged to the customer. It's not taxed to you. So it's added on top of the price, and then that's something the customer actually is technically paying. You're simply collecting it on behalf of the government, and you're then giving it back to the government as well. Now, obviously, it gets a little bit more complex if you're talking about VAT in Europe, and then you're paying the government a little bit, but then you can claim back that VAT that you've paid on other things that you purchased for your business. I don't want to get into that too much right now because that's stuff that we teach in our program. It's a little bit more complex, and really and truly, you'll be outsourcing a lot of those things to accountants and stuff like that. We do it, have done it for years. So we don't get into the weeds of that too much, but we do teach it obviously. So that's just a side note. So your sales taxes, you'll collect it, you'll remit it back to the government. Your corporation taxes then, right? Everyone has this big fear they're gonna pay massive amounts of taxes, but it's just not true, especially when you're starting out in a business. And why? Because a corporation tax is calculated on the profitability of the entity, of the company. So if a company's really profitable, you're obviously going to pay the percentage corporation tax in your country. You're going to then pay that as tax. So if it was $1 million profit and it was 20% corporation tax, you'd pay 200,000. Very basic, that's overly simplified, but that's pretty much what it is. Thing to understand is when you're starting a business, you're not going to be super profitable for a while. Takes time to get up and running, takes time to get sales flowing and stuff like that. You're gonna have costs of setting up your business, mentorship, and everything in between. All those costs, they come off your profitability. Now, I'm not gonna get into stock and stuff like that because it's technically an asset. Don't worry about that. Just know when you've got a business, you've got expenses, you're not making very much profit yet, you will not have very much in the way of taxes to actually pay other than the sales taxes that you'll be collecting. And that's really important. Even with sales tax, you can use TAXJAR to collect, to understand what sales tax that you owe in different countries. It'll tell you, it'll report on it. It makes it really, really simple for you. Also, you can outsource a lot of this stuff as well. So I don't want you to worry about it that much. Just know that, when you're not making money, really, you're not gonna pay that much in the way of tax. As your business grows, yes, you'll pay more corporation tax and then eventually personal income tax, and you start taking a personal income from your business. But these are not things to be concerned with today. Right now, what I want you to think about is, what products am I going to be selling? What countries am I going to be selling in? What entities do I need to set up so that I can sell in different countries? What can I get? I need to get a credit card so I can charge my fees for Amazon. I need my documentation in place. I need my bank account in place in the name of my company. That's what I want you to be focusing on today. They're the things to get yourself set up and ready to go. And down the line, you can be thinking about taxation and all that kind of stuff. So with that said, I hope that this overview of everything you need at a very base level has been helpful to you today. I would also recommend you go and search on Amazon's site as well and actually look at what requirements they have, because they do change from time to time, all right? I think that's really important that you do that ahead of time when you're setting up your Amazon account. But I don't want you to do it today necessarily if you don't have any idea what product you're going to sell, because a lot of people, they set up a business, they get a business card, a logo, and they've got nothing to sell. I don't want that for you. So with that said, if you want to learn how to do this stuff at a much more in-depth level, all you got to do is click on the link down in the description or in the first comment. That'll bring you back to our website. Jump in and grab our free training. We'll show you how this works at a really, really big level. We'll show you how to do it step by step. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, do that now. And please like this video. It really, really helps. And finally, leave me a comment today. What stage of business are you in right now? Are you just getting set up? Are you already selling? Where are you right now in the process? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions, ask them down below as well, and I'll see you in the next video.